Hey everyone, welcome back to my Node.js tutorial series. So today we will be diving into the worker threads. So in the last video, we have learned about the basics of the creating thread, right? Now let's talk about some key limitations and differences, and I will show you some extreme examples, really understand how they work. So let's try to jump in. Before that, hit the subscribe button if you are new here. Fine, let's go to this. So now, if you try to see our code, okay, so if you try to see new our code, let's try to revert this one all. Yeah. So what we have did, so we have looped over this one and we have created our calculator.js file, right? So if you see here in our calculator, so just it's an indefinite loop so that the event loop will always be made alive, the work thread. And here we are creating the 10 threads. So we have seen this basic thing. Now what are the thing we are trying to do here? So we always trying to create the things in the main thread. So now creating a thread in the main thread, it is not limited. So if you want to create a thread inside this thread means then also you can create the thread. So that's not a problem. You can create them from any point you want. This means that inside any other worker thread also you can create more threads if you need it. So this gives a lot of flexibility in your apps. So now we already learned about the limitations and the differentiation. So what we have got it. We already saw that process.exit doesn't work. So if you try to use here the process.exit in this one, so it will not completely exit the thing. So it will only exit the worker thread only. So it will not exit the complete thing, complete project, complete app. And also the data streams like studio in, studio out, and not standard in, standard out, and standard error are connected to the main thread. So that means when the main thread is free, whatever the console.log you are trying to do, it will be passed to the standard in, pass it to the main thread, and the main thread will pass it to the terminal. So it is not the job of the workers. So if you want to see the full list of what I want to see, the limitations and all those things, you can go to the Node.js documentation. So this is our Node.js documentation, and if you go to the bottom, you will be able to see the worker threads here. Okay, so this is the worker threads, and in this worker threads, you will be able to go into the class worker or something like that you will be having. So this is our worker which we have created our class, and here you will be able to see the notable differences in the environment. So like this you will be able to see. So if you search for the process.exit, so here you will be able to see it does not stop the whole program, just the single thread whoever it has been called, so it will be exited. So that is the main thing. And notable differences inside a worker environment means a worker environment just means a thread that you create from your main thread. So again, it also mentions the data streams like standard in, standard out, standards may be redirected to the parent thread. So that means that is nothing but main thread only. Then there is also thread ID, and these all the things will be there. So which we will try to discuss more about this later. And so these are all the things. These are all few other slight differences, but they are pretty much it. So you have got access to almost everything that you got it in the main thread, like creating another server, dealing with the files, and so many other things. So these are the main exceptions, of course. So all right, so now let's have a clear we have a clear understanding about this one. So let's do something a bit extreme. I am going to try to create 10,000 threads. 10,000 threads. So in calculator.js, I'll so here let's go to in our code. Okay, so this is our code, and instead of creating here 10, I will try to create 10,000 threads here. So if you try to create 10,000 threads here, so now what I was trying to do it is I'm telling my app to spawn the 10,000 threads. There is no need to try this one at home. Just watch me. So I will be demonstrating a few points. So now if I try to run this one, so let's try to save it. And here let's go to this one, and here activity monitor I will keep it. So here I will run this node app.js. If I try to run it, and if you try to see, the CPU shoots up. Okay, and the number of threads keeps climbing like 100, 500 or something like this. So here the number of threads has been climbing up. So there is also a huge amount, and all my other open apps added up around 5,000 threads, something like that it is going on. And also my system also will go slow down. And also if you try to see, the memory also is getting increased. So 10 GB, something like that, it is going on increasing. So now threads also occupy the memory. Now I will see it is not always going at a time to the something around 10,000. So it is trying to create one by one. So I will try to force quit this one so that my recording will stop. So now you understand about this one, right? So now the memory usage also going on increasing and climbing. So that means you need to understand here threads occupy the memory. Because why? Because each thread will have its own event loop, execution context, and also the copy of the variables. So if you can use fewer threads for the same performance, do it and save resources. So now hopefully you see what I mean. Creating threads isn't something you should do it for every request in your app. It's better to create one thread and communicate it for multiple requests. If you create a new thread for a request, a hacker could send thousands of requests like this, create thousands of threads, eat up your memory, slow your server, and cause denial of server attack. So you don't want to do it for every request. So there is no need to create a thread for this one. Also, as you saw, creating threads isn't super fast. So this loop, whatever the loop I am trying to write it, so the loop whatever I trying to write it, it is taking some minutes to finish, but it's still faster than creating the process. If you try the same experiment with the child process module to create the process, it will take way longer. But whereas the threads creating is somewhat faster than creating the process. 10,000 process creating is way slower than creating a 10,000 threads. So first of all, so now you are able to understand this one. So now what I will be trying to do it is, I will try to explain you another one. So for example, let's say that in calculator.js also. So instead of creating here, let's say that I will try to copy this one and I will paste it here. So here and here I can able to create the thread also here. So I can create new worker of, so here I can again call the calculator.js. So don't do this one. So why I was trying to tell is, so here I am trying to create a new worker, new thread. Inside this one again a new thread is going to be created. So now this is a recursive thread creation. Let's try to see what will happen. So if I try to show you the node app.js, so slow. Okay, here it is telling that that is not available. So let's copy this one and paste it here at the top. So now if I try to run this one, so it is entirely possible. So if I try to run this one, see it is going on creating the things. If I go and show you in the activity monitor, and the Node.js is going on creating the threads, here you will be able to see 122, 130, 140 like this. So I'll go to force stop here. So that means in the in the worker thread also you can able to create the new thread. So this is what I want to explain you. So now before closing of this video, so what I want to explain you is, so now here we are having, so inside this calculator.js and in the main thread, so what I will try to do here, I will try to use something like while of true. Okay, and here I will try to have it. So now what I would be trying to do it is, so here I will try to create a worker of calculator.js file. And now what I would be trying to do is, I will create a constant fs is equal to require of node fs slash promises. So I'm creating the promises, and here what I can do, constant so here I can create fs dot, so write file of, so here I can use something like text.txt, and the data which I would be writing and the data which I would be trying to do it is some data I will try to do it. Okay, and here so we can have something like this. So now, so I am trying to create this one. So here we should be trying to take it is this one. So here you'll be having the mode and all those things. So now what I would be trying to do here, so I would be trying to do it. Let's try to so what I would be trying to do it is, so instead of having the promises, just we'll have a callback thing, and here you will be getting the error. Okay, and if error is there, then something error has occurred, console.log. So error occurred, so just I will try to do it, and otherwise console.log file is created. So that's it. So now this is the fs.write file. So this is the thing. So now what I will be trying to do it is, so here we are having file of press. So let's try to add it in our set time mode. So I will try to show you that set time mode. here I can do something like this, and here I can write it, and after 3000 seconds or something like this I will try to have it. So now here I will be creating the worker thread. Okay, and in this one I will try to remove this one. So just I will try to write it like that's it. So now this is the worker thread which I will be trying to do, and here we are having this one and this set timeout after this one. So while of true. So now you need to tell me that whether this file will be created or not. So just try to see it. So let's go to our node app.js file. Okay, so here you'll be able to see the 400, and here so while of true is coming, and if you try to wait for 3 seconds or something like that, you will not able to see the file will be created. So what is the problem here? Why? Because the main thread is always not free, so it is always busy in creating this one. So here you will be able to see the main thread is always busy. Why? Because it is trying executing the while loop. So now what I will be trying to do, so here let's copy this one. Okay, I will be keeping this thread busy, and in the calculator.js file, so here I will be trying to do this one, and here I will be adding this while of true, or otherwise I will try to remove this one. Okay, and I have created this set timeout thing, and here while of true, and I have created the calculator.js file. So now let's try to see whether it can able to create it or not. So let's try to see this one. So now if I try to run the node app.js file, so let's stop it, and here if I try to run this node app.js file, so now here you will be able to see after 3 seconds a file will be created for this one. Why? Because the thread will not, so here you'll be able to see the main thread is busy, but whereas the thread is not busy. Okay, so the worker thread is not busy, so now it is trying to create the file. So let's try to see that it can able to create it. Will not be okay. Here the error, maybe the error will be occurred. So let's try to see our terminal. Go to our terminal. Maybe the error occurred. Why? Because so we don't have the fs module, right? Let's try to get it. And here, so why we are not able to see the error is, so the main thread is busy, and the error we cannot able to shoot it in the standard input. So now let's try to see the output for this one. So here I will try to create the output, and now if you try to see after 3 seconds, you'll be able to see the file will be created. Why? Because here the main thread is busy, whereas the worker thread is not busy. So here you'll be able to see the text has been created. So that is what you need to understand. So even if the main thread is busy, so the worker thread is able to create the what I mean to say, the task for you. So if I try to create, if I try to add while of true, okay, in this one, so again here the event loop will be busy. So if I try to remove this one, okay, and even if I try to remove this one, something like this, here if I try to remove this one, now it will try to create this file, and while of true it will be busy. So here, so it can able to create it. So now you may be you will be having a clear understanding about this one. So how the worker thread and all those things will be working in the practical thing. So here, even if the main thread is busy, the worker thread is not busy, so it is able to create the file. So that's it guys about this concept. So I hope you understood, have a pretty good understanding about the threads thing. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.